ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
As you know, LA has a football team again. The Rams are back, and there's a player on the Rams named William Hayes does not believe in dinosaurs. For real. He thinks dinosaurs are a hoax cooked up by some very rascally archaeologists. I don't know, but I decided to take William on a field trip to the LA Natural History Museum, where they have all sorts of dinosaur bones. And here is my dinosaur day with William Hayes.
Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody wants the dinosaur. Boom, boom, like a boom, 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 like a boom, 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 like a boom.
So, how old were you when you realized you didn't believe in dinosaurs?
Junior, I don't ever really believe. I never really believed.
Never?
No.
So even as a little kid, when you were learning about dinosaurs, you didn't believe them?
I don't have a big imagination.
Listen, I think skepticism is a good quality to have. I think we should challenge the things we're expected to believe.
Okay.
I mean, not necessarily to this extent, but let's take a look around and see what you think.
No doubt about it.
Look at that. This doesn't move you in any way?
Absolutely not.
So what do you think these are?
Like clay.
Maybe it is clay. I don't know. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm an educator here for the Natural History Museum.
Oh, we need you, Dan.
Please.
Have you met people who don't believe in dinosaurs before?
Yeah, every now and then we do get people who don't believe in dinosaurs.
Are you able to persuade them that dinosaurs are real?
I give the facts and some of my personal experience with these.
Okay. Your personal experiences as seeing one?
As in actually going out and digging for dinosaurs.
You've never dug up a dinosaur before?
I
Have
have.
you?
Yes, I have.
Where?
Utah.
If Daniel has pictures, will you believe?
Absolutely not.
No. So you think
Whoever Daniel went and did those dinosaurs up would probably put them there.
You think somebody planted the bones under the ground?
And they knew exactly where to go get them from.
I don't know about that.
Well, yeah, of course you don't know.
Yeah.
You're the one who was tricked.
The fossils that I dug up personally actually found using a jackhammer, and I don't think anybody could.
You believe in jackhammers?
Jackhammers.
You do.
Man seen jackhammers before.
Yeah.
And here we have our T-Rex skull, and it is one of the most complete T-Rex skulls ever found.
So those the real teeth from T-Rex?
Yeah, the lower jaw is pretty complete. If you take a look in between the cracks, we put in things like clay and glue to hold it together.
So you're saying this is a lot of this is clay?
Not a lot. Well,
A lot.
Yeah, a lot of it's clay.
A lot of it's clay.
You can definitely tell.
when a bone gets covered in mud, that mud would harden and then water will come in through the cracks and replace the bone with minerals. And what you're left with is a natural replica.
So that's a real dinosaur bone.
This is a natural copy, basically, a fossil.
It's a copy.
A copy.
Yeah.
How many people are involved in this scam, Daniel?
I understand why it's hard for people to believe that these animals did exist at one point.
Because nobody never seen them.
I'm glad we established this. Let's keep going.
Right here, we have a Struthiomimus, along with an ostrich and a goose.
So
And
are birds dinosaurs?
birds are dinosaurs.
Who made that rule up?
When we looked at the fossils, we
No,
found...
not we.
Yeah.
Y'all looked at the fossils.
Yeah, right.
Hell no.
Not us.
Yeah,
I don't want no
You
Yeah.
and your friends
One
that are
day.
involved in this conspiracy.
So here we are at the Age of Mammals exhibit.
Mammals aren't dinosaurs, right?
No, they are not. They were here when dinosaurs were here. So
Uh-huh.
we can start off right here if you'd like. Pachycetus ataki.
What?
Is Pachycetus ataki.
Pachycetus
And
ataki.
Pachycetus ataki to you, too.
Does it remind you of any animal life?
It looks like a dog or an anteater or something.
Yeah. It's actually the ancient ancestor of modern day cetaceans, or whales, dolphins, and porpoises.
That's a whale?
Come
That's a
on,
walking
man.
whale.
Come on, Jimmy.
It's not a whale.
Hell no, that ain't no whale.
No, yeah, that was not. You have that
That's
wrong.
definitely not flip.
You got to redo this because it's
Yeah,
wrong.
that's terrible. You believe that?
That? No, no way.
Basically, there are two kinds of skeletal mounts in museums today. Most mounts or skeletons of dinosaurs that you see on display are casts of the real bones in either fiberglass or some other light material. What's done is once the fossil is cleaned up, once the skeleton is prepared, then the curators work with metal workers called mount makers in order to devise the pose that they want the animal to be in. And lots of times they'll make detailed drawings or even scaled down models of how they want this animal to look. Then they blow those designs up into a full scale mount and have to construct an iron framework called an armature.
I really like dinosaurs. T-Rex, Stegosaurus, Triceratops. You know that feeling when you walk into a museum being in the same room as a dinosaur? It's just special. The actual bones of something that was alive roaming the earth millions of years ago. So you can imagine how shocked I was when I found out that some of those bones on display in museums weren't real.
What do you mean, not real?
I mean, not real. The bones on display are replicas.
What, like even at like the Smithsonian?
Yeah, even at the Smithsonian. Now, but like you, I was confused, needed to find out a little more, so did a little journey, found out why they use replicas, I found out who makes these replicas, and you know, I really found out that it wasn't as bad as I thought.
I feel like I was lied to like my whole childhood.
Same. Totally the same. But you know what? We'll get through this together.
When you see the Max display, you see a big, grand layout of a skeleton with bones mounted on that. Those are replicas of the original bones. We use replicas for a couple of different reasons in exhibits, and the biggest reason is that the fossils are irreplaceable and they're fragile. To mount a fossil skeleton either requires an extremely expensive and complex armature, or it requires drilling holes into these irreplaceable bones. We really don't like to do that if we can avoid it.
The actual fossils are petrified, so they weigh like unbelievable amounts of pounds. In casts, you can make basically a shell. They don't even have to be filled in, or you can fill them in with another very light material. And then you have the same skeleton, for instance, at the American Museum of Natural History, in the entrance Roosevelt Hall, there's this huge Barosaurus rising up on its hind legs. That skeleton weighs 800 pounds. If you had the actual fossil, you would be looking at something 5-10 tons and on this little spot, you know, way beyond any conceivable floor loading. There's a preference now for casts because you can do really lively things. You know, you can have a T-Rex standing on one leg and using the other leg to stomp on a Triceratops and so on, which you could have never done with the actual fossil bones.
I think that many people, when they come to a museum, don't necessarily realize what things they're looking at and which ones are replicas of those specimens. I personally don't think that's actually a big deal. These replicas are so incredibly good that at a glance, even an expert can be confused as to whether they're looking at the original or not. The replicas are accurate down to sub-millimeter scales, so you really are hard-pressed to tell the difference.
How did the museums get involved?
Well, the first museum to use bone clones was the Santa Barbara Museum of Natural History, and from there, it kind of just blew up. The Smithsonian started using them, the Field Museum, American Museum of Natural History, museums all over the world.
You know, it's amazing how real they look.
Right? They really do.
Okay, enough of the bullcrap. Now, as you all can see, I hated to spend 7 minutes on showing you this, but as you all can see, there are no real dinosaur bones in any museums, okay? They're all replicas, castings, fiberglass, plastic, clay, okay? There's no real dinosaur bones put together. There's never been a real whole dinosaur found and put together in a museum, okay? They find one or two bones and then they make believe put a structure to these bones, okay? But here's the real truth. The real truth is these bones are the giant bones from the Bible, okay? Nowhere in history will you ever find in any ancient culture a depiction of a dinosaur. Nowhere in the Bible does it say anything about a dinosaur, and nowhere in any ancient depictions will you find dinosaurs, because they don't exist. They are made up. Okay, and then when you ask about these real bones, the real dinosaur bones, oh, they keep them in vaults. You can't see them or touch them because they're valuable. So they make this plastic stuff up. But you spend all kinds of money coming to museums and look at it and watch whatever kind of movies they're playing about dinosaurs and all that. You watch it on Discovery. They teach you this from the time you're a child. and you believe it without questioning it. Now, let's see what the Bible says about creatures, all the creatures on the earth that was ever made. They tell you these dinosaurs were from billions of years ago. Now, let's look at what the Bible says. Okay, Genesis 1:20 through 30. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and the fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. Okay. 21, and God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. He didn't say, let the dinosaurs rule. Okay, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. Okay, now, and God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Now, who discovered the first dinosaur fossil? It's a bigger question than you might think. In 1677, Robert Plot is credited with discovering the first dinosaur bone. But his best guess as to what it belonged to was a giant human. Now, in 1842, the trailblazing British scientist Richard Owen announced the discovery of the dinosaurs to great acclaim. The first of these dinosaurs to be was a huge carnivore discovered in an English rock known as Stonesfield State and published by William Buckland in 1824 under the name Megalosaurus. Okay, now, Sir Richard Owen, the man who invented the dinosaur. Now, check him out. Here's what the guy looks like. It's all a bunch of bullcrap. It's all a bunch of lies. This is a guy, another Freemason, along with all the other liars who have deceived you.
Okay, you know how dinosaurs don't really exist? They never existed. They were invented by the Royal Society in 1841. Fact.
The class Dinosauria was originally defined by Sir Richard Owen of the Royal Society and Superintendent of the British Museum Natural History Department in 1842.
All dinosaur bones are replicas made by chicken bones from China. True story. And you know why you can't use real dinosaur bones? Because they claim that they're still radioactive because of the asteroid 66 million years ago.
In what was known as the Great Dinosaur Rush, or the Bone Wars, Edward Drinker Cope of the Academy of Natural Sciences and Othniel Marsh of the Peabody Museum of Natural History began a lifelong rivalry and passion for dinosaur hunting. They started out as friends, but became bitter enemies during a legendary feud involving double-crossing, slander, bribery, theft, spying, and destruction of bones by both parties. None of them once claimed to find a complete skeleton either, so all their work involved reconstructions. In fact, to this day, no complete skeleton has ever been found.
Okay? So now that you realize that dinosaurs are already an absurd farce. Absurd, guys. When you look into the bone wars and how many of them have been proven false, there is not one single skeleton of a dinosaur that exists in the world. None. The engineers have proven that none of the bodies would work. All the guts would fall out. Like a brontosaurus, stegosaurus. You can't prove the Earth was here 66 million years ago. I'm not saying it was or wasn't, but there's no evidence of anything. None. You can't carbon date fossils. They're stone. There's no actual living anything in them. You can't carbon. No one knows anything about timelines. This is all nonsense. It was invented by the Royal Society in 1841. You can look this up. I know people that have degrees in which they're paying off debt to this day in paleontology. They have whole degrees in things that are lies. It's like those things that you're looking at right there, those skeletons don't exist. They've never found a single skeleton like that.